This week, Nintendo serves up a ton of new Mario Tennis info, we get our first look at new Joy-Con colors, and we tell you about every Switch and Switch 2 game coming in 2026. We'll talk about all of that and more, because this is Podcasting with Power. Welcome to Podcasting with Power, your weekly source for Nintendo and video game news, reviews, and deep dive discussions. I'm Zachary Davis, and that's Jordan Carlson over there. Whoa. And hey, if you're enjoying what we're doing, help us grow by tapping that subscribe button, leaving a comment, or following us on social media at PodWithPower. All the links you need will be in the description below. Jordan, how are you on this fine, wintry, but not really Michigan wintry day?
Oh man, so weird. I went to go grab my mail before we hopped on here.
Okay.
In full slides, and was like, okay.
Sure. I believe I caught that you're in shorts. I think I...
Oh, yes. I am wearing shorts.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. For those that don't know, we live in Michigan. It was a nice, warm day today.
Got the old Michigan combo. Got the hoodie with the shorts.
Yeah. When I went outside this morning, the fog was incredible. It was like some N64 fog.
Yeah. It was a big joke this morning, actually. It's like everybody was like, oh, it's part of the map you haven't unlocked yet. And I was like,
exactly. Yeah. I wish. So I know because of our scheduling in the holidays, we actually met for our last podcast very recently. So how have you been since then? And what have you been playing since then, if anything? It did look like you were messing with something there.
I was. Okay. And actually, that's where I've been playing most of my games, which feels awful. I'm going to be honest. I feel dirty holding. So it's the Legion S, just Legion S. Okay. Yeah, I keep wanting to say Legion Go S. I've been playing that quite a bit. I picked one up here maybe about a week ago.
Okay.
And made some hefty trades. I know we've talked a lot. I collect a lot of handhelds, and one of my buddies was like, hey, I'll trade you this for a couple of those. And I was like, you got it.
Okay. Cool.
So yeah, I've been screwing around with this thing, and I've been playing Octopath Zero on there.
Very nice. Okay. And how's the experience?
It's really good. It's really, really good. And it is so crisp, and I love it. And it's everything that I wish that I could play it on the Switch. It feels like when I'm in the same room as my Switch 2, I look at it and I'm like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, calling to you. No, I get that. No, that's cool. That's very cool. I've heard good things about those devices, so that's neat.
Yeah, super cool. Steam OS, that's the way to go with them. The Windows one's very clunky.
Yeah. I have not played a ton since we last convened. It's still just Holiday. It's still stuck at that same spot.
Oh, what spot is it again?
I'm towards the end of Act 2. There's a spot where you've got to collect like these 3 melodies, and one of them is a heavy combat gauntlet. And I get what I have to imagine is right to the end of it. I can do that. Like, I'm at the point where I do believe there is nothing else they could throw at me. Like, this has to be the end, and I can't quite do it.
Oh my god.
Yeah. It drives me crazy. And then, when you come back after like setting it down for a while and you're rusty, and
yeah,
so then it takes you some time to get back to that, and it's
that is the absolute worst, by the way. Like, that's something that we don't talk about enough. It's, you could be elite at a game, like you could crush it, and then you come back like even 2 weeks later and you're like not the same. It's so weird how that is, because of like how different games are.
Right.
Man, maybe that's something we should unpack one day.
We should. I did have that experience though last night that you get sometimes where my first run was incredible. Like, it was one of the best I've ever done. And then I died, and then the next one was awful. Just terrible. The next 3 were awful, and it took me forever to get back to that point I was at, and I still never did it. But
God, dude, I know.
One of these days I will get through Hollow Knight, Silk Song, and Act 3 and all that good stuff.
Can I confess something really quick?
Yeah, go for it.
So much like yourself being very frustrated with this part, it reminds me of something. I was gonna make a guess. I can't make you guess. It's so obscure. But I want to share the one and only time I've ever broken a controller out of rage in a game.
Ooh, okay.
You can take a guess if you want.
Can I have some? How many guesses?
How about I give you some hints?
Ask you some questions.
I gotta walk you to this one because it's a little. I don't think you'd guess it. Although I know I like this franchise.
Okay. Did this game come out prior to you being an adult or not?
Yes.
It did. Okay.
And it is available on the GameCube, the PlayStation 2, and I think that's maybe the Xbox 360. That era.
Okay.
It is featuring
a Western?
A series that we both very much enjoy.
Really? Okay.
And it is a series by which there are many entries in the series. And they all largely feature the same cast. Usually each game will have a little bit more of them.
Huh. I'm kind of blanking. Nothing's really coming to mind. You've kind of debunked all of the initial guesses I had.
It's hard. It's a hard one. I honestly, I feel like I can't make you guess it, but it's Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And it is against Majin Buu, Super Buu specifically.
Sure.
And I lost it on this transparent blue PlayStation 2 controller.
Okay. Sure.
And like, I'm just thinking about, Hollow Knight and how frustrating that is. And it wasn't throwing it. It was literally that thing where you grip it and just crush.
Okay. Wow.
Like I like snapped it. Like it didn't break it in half, but it cracked down the middle, One and only time.
I don't even think I ever got that far in that one in particular. I had a hard enough time doing the fusions. I would always, how that one had the messed up fusions?
Yeah. Oh, I would love that.
It was cool, but not when that's all you're getting all the time because you can't. Dude, you can't hit the buttons in sequence the right way.
That was the Gokule.
Gokule? Yeah. the different Go Tanks variations. Yeah, it was. That was frustrating enough.
I remember like the life bars. You'd start the round and it's like red, yellow, green, blue, white. So I was like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah, you never even see these colors. They're new colors.
I was like, dude, I got 3 of these things. You got 6 of these things.
Right, exactly. That's a fun game.
Anyway.
But I have 4 Nintendo news stories for you this week. We kind of teased some off the top. So I'm just going to dive right in.
All right, let's go.
All right. Story number 1. New Mario Tennis Fever trailer highlights the biggest roster of playable characters in series history. This is by Wesley LeBlanc at Game Informer. Nintendo revealed Mario Tennis Fever, a Switch 2 exclusive, during a direct that aired last September. Now, with roughly a month to go until the game's February 12th release date, the company has released a new overview trailer highlighting nearly 6 minutes of gameplay, including a look at the series' largest roster of playable characters. That's because Mario Tennis Fever features 38 different characters, ranging from fan favorites like Mario and Luigi to more mischievous players like Dry Bones and Baby Waluigi, who I want to point out is a new character. Alongside those 38 characters, Mario Tennis Fever featured 30 Fever Rackets, which are all new to the series and allow you to equip your character with unique abilities. The Ice Racket, for example, turns parts of the court into a slippery tundra, while the Mini Mushroom Racket shrinks your opponent to bite size. Quote, just fill up your fever gauge to unleash a fever shot, and if you're on the receiving end of one of those, don't worry, you can try and send it back at your opponent before the shot hits the court, so they feel the effects instead. Mario Tennis Fever will feature a single-player adventure mode, a campaign in which mysterious monsters turn Mario, Luigi, Princess Peach, Wario, and Waluigi into babies, forcing them to remaster their tennis skills and overcome challenges to return to normal. Elsewhere in the game, the Trial Towers mode forces players to take on a series of challenges as they climb their way to the top of the tower, and Mix It Up mode allows you to play matches with unconventional rules, like Ring Shot, where you have to hit balls with precision through rings, and Forest Court Match, where you can expand the court size by feeding piranha plants tennis balls. Returning modes includes Tournament. The Super Mario Brothers Wonder Talking Flower gives you play-by-play commentary, and there are online modes like Online Room for casual play with customizable rules and ranked matches. Mario Tennis Fever launches exclusively on Switch 2 on February 12th. So they dropped this the morning that we're recording this. Have you had a chance to watch this Mario Tennis overview trailer?
No, and you know what? I did it on purpose because I thought we'd talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's hilarious.
Yeah, it's. I'll be honest with you. I did watch it. I think I'm pretty sold on this game.
What?
I do. I think there is so much. I don't even think this story does it justice. I think there is so much content in this game compared to the sports titles we've gotten since like the GameCube era.
Uh-huh.
I think this looks great.
Dude, I think it's funny. So they get turned back into kids.
Yeah.
Somebody watched a lot of Dragon Ball Daima, but anyway.
Yeah.
They're like, whoa. My favorite sentence, I think, I was trying to right here. So turn into babies, forcing them to remaster their tennis skills. Like they're like, hey, they're like, now we have to.
Yeah, that's the only way. I mean, you definitely lose your tennis abilities when you get turned into a baby.
I mean, yeah. There's
no doubt.
But like for that to be the plot driver, they're like, they had to do it. We were forced to.
I mean, we'll see about the adventure mode, but honestly, with how much they showed all of the different kinds of variations and mini games and things you can do, like it looks great. I'm stoked for this now.
I like the I've seen still images of it. I haven't watched the trailer yet. I mean, we've talked about it. I like Mario Tennis. I'd be stoked to have something with more content. So yeah, I mean, I'll watch it. I'll give it a watch and see what I think here. But I mean, good on them to finally, like we were saying, like give it a story though. It's not just you boot up and you're playing tennis,
I know the last two, particularly the Wii U one, felt very bare bones.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see them, packing as much into this one as they seemingly can. But we'll talk about that in about a month.
All
right. Story number 2. Nintendo reveals first new Joy-Con 2 colors for Switch 2. This is by Alana Higgs at Nintendo Life. Nintendo has given us all a rather lovely surprise this gloomy Thursday, a set of brand new Joy-Con 2 colors coming February 12th, 2026. Happens to be the same day as Mario Tennis. Coming in light purple and light green, the new set was officially unveiled on the Nintendo Today app and is the first set of new Joy-Con 2 colors for the Switch 2 since the console's launch. They're a rather nice contrast to the Switch 2's black color scheme and softer than the current default blue and red. Pricing for the set is $99.99 in the US, with pre-orders now live on Nintendo's US website, and I'm sure other retailers as well. So Joy-Con colors, Nintendo expanding their kind of slate of accessories and designs, that was one of your predictions for 2026.
Mm-hmm.
And here we are, 2 episodes into the year, and you were right.
Yeah.
Have you seen these, though?
Yeah. And, cool. I love pastel. That's super cool. It's just not what I thought the first rendition would be, but I honestly didn't think they'd even stick to the inside color situation. Right.
I have seen a lot of disappointment on the internet today looking at these.
Yeah.
And I get it. When these are on your Switch, really all you're going to see is that little spot under the control sticks.
Yeah.
I think functionally, if you are someone who's playing with them like detached in like a tabletop mode, it's nice to, be able to differentiate them that way. But you're right. I would not have expected the first set to be more black Joy-Con with, some different accents on it. That's a little odd. But I do like the colors they chose. I think they look nice.
Yeah, cool colors. I just, I'm hoping we'll see the colors, but also just special edition in general. Like give us some cool patterns or something. You know what I mean? Like some of the biggest selling accessories that you see for the Switch and for any other device out there is typically like cool patterns or different colored cases, like things that you can do to customize them. I'm just surprised they're not engaging that more,
Yeah. I just saw this past week, PlayStation showed off these really cool, like very vibrant DualSense and PS5 like console covers that are exactly what you're talking about. Like they're so bright and pop, and they're very cool. Yeah. Before we move to the next story, though, I think it's interesting that Nintendo dropped both of these pieces of information today. They do sometimes, they always have an early year direct, but sometimes that does fall in January. These two things kind of feel like maybe we had to push the direct a couple weeks, but we needed this info to get out there. You know,
You might be
I'm
honest.
always a little suspect when like Nintendo starts talking a lot in like within the span of a couple days. I'm like, what were you planning to do?
When you put it like that, I think you're onto something. When they go from very quiet to just stuff flying out, you're right. It is a little weird.
And I mean, these two things, Mario Tennis and these Joy-Con do release in a month, so I get it. But yeah, I wonder if something was planned for maybe this first full week of January. I don't know. And maybe this is why. Story number 3. Nintendo Switch 2 sales were reportedly not amazing over the holidays. This is by Chris Compendio at GameSpot. The Nintendo Switch 2 was indisputably a sales hit after its June 2025 launch, but a new report indicates that the hybrid console's success may not match up to the original Switch's first holiday season. According to the Game Business, Switch 2 sales in the United States were down by around 35% from November to December compared to Switch 1 sales during the same period in its launch year of 2017. This statistic tracks with an earlier report from Circana revealing that November 2025 was the worst month for hardware sales in the US since 1995. That is industry-wide. That's not just Nintendo. The Switch 2 didn't fare much better in European countries, with UK sales having a reported fall of 16% compared to the Switch 1. The difference is less steep in Japan, where the Switch 2 only had a 5.5% decline from Switch 1 holiday numbers in 2017. Overall, the Switch 2 still had a strong first year, with Switch 2 sales being higher than Switch 1's first year sales in the UK by 6% and Japan by 11%. We'll skip a little bit of this. Though hardware sales in general are faltering, this isn't to take away from the Switch 2's accomplishments, with over 10 million units sold in its first 4 months. Upcoming first-party Switch 2 offerings include an upgrade for Animal Crossing New Horizons and the Baby Waluigi starring Mario Tennis Fever. So, okay, this is, I think, going into the holiday, I think we probably both assumed, things were looking good.
Yeah.
And by all measures, it seems like the Switch 2 is doing fine. But are you surprised by this news at all?
Not really. I'm really not. And I think it's because we don't have a ton. Well, we're going to get into it, but I don't think we have anything to really be jumping up and down about just yet. And, comparing it, I understand why this is done. In the industry, I know why you compare year over year like that. It makes sense. That's what you want to do. That's how you track growth. I get it. Yeah. But tracking this original Switch's launch and how it did over the holiday is not the same as the Switch 2 over the holiday. And I feel like not kind of adjusting what your goal is to that is a little odd. The circumstances are different than they were then, not only because of just the hardware itself, but the economy,
Right. Yeah.
Like everything is much different than it was when the Switch first launched. So it's a strange comparison to make, I think, to look back at how the predecessor did. But I mean, in general, though, I just feel like the hype was different this year. I don't feel like that the chase items for Christmas were really Nintendo or really any kind of game related. Am I wrong about that? I'm trying to think.
No, I kind of think you're right. It does seem like that wasn't exactly the highlight this year. And I think it's worth pointing out when you look at kind of the two, big games on the Switch 2 this first year, Mario Kart World and Donkey Kong Bonanza, probably the highest profile. Donkey Kong, that you've got, that's June and July that those come out. Whereas, the Switch launched with Breath of the Wild, and then that holiday season had Mario Odyssey.
Yeah.
And so Pokemon Legends is probably the biggest analog to that, but I don't think that's the same, that is available in the Switch 1. I just don't think that was the same draw that Odyssey was.
Yeah. Yeah.
As good as it is. So I think they'll do fine, but you nailed it. Like, the economy's tough, and this happens. So,
yeah.
All right, story number 4. I am very curious to see what you think about this one. GameSir and Hyperkin reveal a modular pad with a GameCube and Nintendo 64 layouts. This is by Ollie Reynolds at Nintendo Life. Accessory manufacturers GameSir and Hyperkin have joined forces to produce a fully modular controller that's compatible with the Switch and Switch 2, the GameSir X Hyperkin X5 Alteron. Ignoring the terrible name for a moment, this thing actually looks pretty neat. Utilizing an extendable telescopic arm design, you can clip it onto your Switch, Switch 2, iPhone, iPad, or Android devices for instant handheld play. It also comes with Bluetooth technology to allow for PC gaming if you wish. The biggest draw, however, is the modular design. You can swap out the front modules to completely customize your controller's layout, with options ranging from a fight pad design to a faithful-ish recreation of the GameCube or N64 controller. It also comes with a host of modern features that you'd come to expect from controllers these days, including triggers that can swap between tactile, micro switch functionality to full Hall effect analog functionality. Similarly, the capacitive sticks come with the ability to alter their height to ensure maximum comfort for each individual player. No word yet on when this thing is coming out, but have you had a chance to take a look? Do you see kind of how that modular design works? I think it's interesting.
It is. It's very interesting because what is that? The something bone, the whatever bone, the PlayStation.
So this is it's similar to the Backbone, yeah.
Backbone, yeah.
Different product, but yeah, similar kind of idea.
Where my mind goes immediately is DS emulation.
Okay, of course.
You know, having the screen flipped and having it kind of clamped that way.
Okay.
That would be incredible. I would love that. So if I pick one of these up, that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. Not on my Switch, obviously, but other devices that have a screen in a similar way. Because that's extremely enticing. But it is really cool. I would need to see what this thing looks like on the Switch before I'd pull the trigger on it and how it's like gonna keep it there. You know?
That's fair. Yeah. I mean, I've talked about how I have a really hard time going back to N64 games on the Switch if I'm not using that N64 controller.
Yeah.
And so that kind of makes me not play it in handheld mode, you know, like that. And this could be an answer to that. I don't know how likely it is I'll actually get one of these, but
yeah, I know.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. It's a cool
these
option.
could go so because it's like even looking at the photos of these things, like they're 3D renders, so they're not even real photos.
Right.
And it's like, what is this thing actually going to look like? Is it going to feel cheap? Is it going to be clunky? Like, you know, but I mean, it's a cool idea in theory. And it's so far the only thing I'm seeing that represents the GameCube and the N64 that looks like the Sega and then any other traditional controller means, but pretty cool.
I love options.
I love options.
Last but not least, of course, is going to be out this week. Just 3 games of note. We've got on January 15th, all of these are actually on January 15th. We've got Animal Crossing New Horizons, Nintendo Switch 2 edition for the Switch 2. We have The Legend of Heroes Trails Beyond the Horizon for Switch 1 and 2. And Cassette Boy, which I almost didn't include here. That's for the Switch 1. But upon looking at it, I thought Jordan needs to see this game because it has kind of that classic Game Boy aesthetic, that like two-tone, mostly green kind of tint to it, and it is very old school Zelda inspired.
Yeah,
kind of that action adventure puzzly kind of, So I wanted to make sure that was on your radar.
This is cool.
Yeah, we'll put that one on screen. I know we typically don't do that at this point in the show, but why not? I might pick that up. That looks pretty interesting.
Yeah, this looks pretty cool.
I know Legend of Heroes probably isn't for either of us, but have you put any more thought into picking up the Animal Crossing upgrade?
How much is it?
It's $5.
Will I play it? That's the question.
So my whole thing with it, right, is like those updates, the big 3.0 update is free, right? Whereas the Switch 2 edition, what that's really getting you are all the Switch 2 features. So that's where your 4K is. That's where your increased frame rate is, your microphone, all that stuff. So you're right. It's weird to think that like most of the stuff I'm interested in is part of the free update. And there's, it'll be nice, I guess, to make it look a little sharper. But
yeah, there is a lot of cool new stuff. So maybe I'm
definitely going to go back for the first time in years and try it out.
I might do it. $5, $5, a little bit of time. I might do it. We'll see.
Yeah. Why not? So, okay. We have probably mistakenly, we've taken on a great task here with today's topic of the show.
Oh, yeah.
And we are going to tell the people out there about every game we know about that is coming to Switch and Switch 2 in 2026. This is stuff that has release dates, stuff that maybe they've attached a year to. Anything beyond that, we're probably not going to touch too much. Yeah, I think I'm just going to go through. I'm going to start with games that we do have definitive dates for, if that works. And then, yeah, let's just discuss as we go. I'm sure some of these aren't going to be for us, and we're not going to have a ton to add, but why not?
I'm into it.
So in January, I just mentioned the first two of these, Animal Crossing New Horizons Nintendo Switch 2 Edition, and The Legend of Heroes Trails Beyond the Horizon for Switch 1 and 2. That, for those that don't know, is an RPG. I'm not super familiar with that. I feel like I'm seeing a lot of buzz on Reddit about that one, but I'm sure if you are in that space, that RPG space, you probably are aware of it. But this first one I wanted to highlight, coming January 20th, is called MIO Memories in Orbit for Switch 1 and 2. And this is a Metroidvania that has an incredible art style. Like, it looks like a watercolor painting a little bit.
I love that.
And it comes, very early in the year here. I have bid on it in our Fantasy Critic that I am participating in. This won't go out until after that, so I can say that here. We'll see if I get it or not. I hope so. I only bid $1, so Then on January 22nd, we've got Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade. Not a ton to add here. Again, this is a game that's been out for a while, originally in 2020. The demo is out now. I loved the demo. I believe that you will love the demo and love this game. And I think a lot of people out there, if they have not had a chance to try Final Fantasy VII Remake, they should. So that's a cool one. And again, coming very soon. Also on the 22nd of January, we have Dynasty Warriors Origins for the Switch 2. It's Dynasty Warriors. I believe this one came out early last year on the other platforms.
Yeah.
And I think reviewed pretty well. In my head, somehow there's like a IGN, I feel like gave it like a 9 out of 10.
Wow.
So,
okay.
I know Musos are not always our thing. Obviously, I liked Hyrule Warriors last year, but I do think that's kind of the exception for me. You've got to put a thick scoop of Zelda on it, for me to.
you gotta put some costumes on them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I need some Bakubloods and all that stuff. Here's one that title alone I had to include. On January 22nd, we are getting the Rumblefish 2 Nintendo Switch 2 Edition.
Whoa.
This is a fighting game. And the blurb here says it's a legendary arcade game developed by Dimps in 2005. This fighting game gained popularity for its smooth visuals by SMA, as well as the high level of strategy driven by its 2-gauge system. I'm not well enough versed in fighting games to know what a 2-gauge system is. Do you know what that is?
I don't know what that is. Oh, yeah, does it literally mean
like when you have like a little special gauge that you build up? Or
is that
maybe
what that is?
That would make some sense.
Somebody
I think we're both kind of casual fighting game fans.
Yeah.
But I'm sure someone in the comments can let us know what the hell that means. The Switch 2 edition will give players improved graphics, a gallery mode, a training mode, and a new team battle mode that supports both online and offline play. Okay, I'm glad you were highlighting this one because this is another one I wanted to make sure was on your radar. On January 23rd, Escape from Ever After comes to Switch. This is from Sleepy Castle Studios, and it is an RPG that is heavily, heavily Paper Mario inspired.
Oh, yeah.
And I gotta say, I think it nails it. From what I've seen.
This looks wild.
The blurb here is a genre-bending RPG inspired by the classic Paper Mario games. When a greedy megacorp from the real world starts taking over fairy tales for their cheap labor, a newly hired storybook hero must climb the corporate ladder, rally together other disgruntled employees, and fight back. And so it is distinct from Paper Mario in its art style, but I think it modernizes it. Like, it does its own thing, but like, are you looking at it? Like, it's
I
think it's very cool.
I'm looking at a still where they're in like an office, and it's very I don't really even know what this makes me think of, but for some reason, like, I think of like Sly Coop meets Paper Mario meets like there's something about this animation style that reminds me of that era. But
you're right, it's not exactly the paper thing. It does kind of have like a cell shaded kind of
very cool though. It does look cool.
So again, that one's just a couple weeks away. I'm going to be checking that one out. I feel like I've heard this title, but I wasn't really aware of it until I started kind of researching for this. On January 28th, we've got Core Keeper, Nintendo Switch 2 edition. That is not a game I'm familiar with. I have heard good things. I don't know if that's been out maybe a year or two on other places. And it's already on the Switch 1.
Oh, I have seen this around.
Okay.
Yeah, the art style drew me in when I first saw it. Very like they play with light quite a bit, which is what it's got that like HD 2D kind of feel to it.
Sure.
But a little bit they lean more into the 2D. It's not as like high def, but it's got this, they really play off the light, and that's why I think it's cool.
Okay.
I like all that. The atmospheres are very much like shadowy and light. Like it's different.
Okay. And then our last game in January, January 29th, we're getting Dispatch for the Switch 2. This is from Ad Hoc Studio, and this game came out episodically late last year. It's got a pretty decent cast of a lot of well-known voice actors, and of course for Breaking Bad fans, Aaron Paul, Jesse Pinkman is in this game. I'm very interested in this. I wanted to pick it up. It initially was only on PC and PlayStation 5, and that wasn't really going to stop me. I was thinking of picking it up on PC, but now it's coming to Switch, so I feel like I'm going to play it there.
You know what I would love to see?
What's that?
Do you remember in Breaking Bad?
Of course. I remember everything in Breaking Bad.
Do you remember the superheroes that Jesse drew?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Like Rewindo was one of them. And then there was another one. Would that not be crazy? That
would be cool. I'm sure there are people watching that have played through this game and know whether or not that's in there.
Yeah, that would be the coolest. I should Google it. But anyways.
All right, so we're going to move into February. The first major game there to look for is Dragon Quest VII Reimagined on both the Switch 1 and 2. I think I mentioned this last episode, but there is a demo out now. Progress does carry over, and you get a little reward for doing the demo. I don't remember what it is. But that's interesting. I think now that the demo is in people's hands, I think people are a little more okay with the art direction and kind of the overall look of it, like how it is in motion.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe the trailers didn't play to its strengths, but it seems like people are enjoying that demo, so that's a good sign. I believe last time we checked in on this one, you were not sure about it, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure about it.
Okay.
We'll see.
That's kind of where I'm at. I want to get into Dragon Quest again. I just don't know if this is the place. I feel like I need to play either 11 or 3 remake. Yeah. Okay, we talked about Mario Tennis Fever coming on February 12th. Also on February 12th is Yakuza Kiwami 3 and Dark Tides. Yakuza Kiwami 3 is an extreme remake. That's an interesting distinction. Of the action-adventure beat-em-up Yakuza 3, featuring ex-Yakuza Kazuma Kiryu, his fight to protect those he loves. Dark Ties is a brand new game featuring Yoshitaka Mine from Yakuza 3, included as a separate action-packed experience. I'm interested in this. I don't know that I'm ready to jump in. I mentioned trying Yakuza 0 on the Switch 2 a while back now.
Yeah.
I still have it in my possession from the library. I feel like I've renewed it like 5 times.
Oh my God.
Haven't really played much more of it since we talked about it. But I could see myself in a decade getting to this one,
Yeah.
It may take me a while, but I'll get to 3.
I mean, man, oh man. I can't believe I've never tried these games. I've seen them for years,
Yeah. The people that like them really, really like them.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe you need to. Okay, this next one's cool. Chroma Gun 2 Die Hard for the Switch 2 comes February 12th. This is from Pixel Maniacs, and it is a puzzle kind of first-person game in the vein of Portal and Talos Principle.
Ooh, this looks cool.
Yeah, so it's like if you took those games and then Splatoonified it. You know, it's you're doing puzzles with paint and things like that. So I wasn't super aware of this one either, but I think it looks pretty cool. And then this next one is one I want you to talk about for a bit. On February 13th, we're getting Reanimal, which I have listed here on just the Switch 2. Do you know if there's a Switch 1 version? I couldn't really find anything, but I wasn't sure.
Don't know, actually.
Okay.
But I know it's coming out in other places too. But I think this will be one that I pick up on the Switch because it's not intended to be super intense. You know what I mean? It's not going to be like some crazy graphical situation. Sure. But no, this is one of the games that I am extremely hyped for. More so than I was Little Nightmares, and I know it's the same creators. There was actually people that had left the development of Little Nightmares to make this game because they felt that the direction that Little Nightmares was taking wasn't kind of what they were expecting. Sure. Which brings me back to like Dead Island, that whole situation. When people left, it Dead Island to make Dying Light? Was that what that was?
Yeah. Yep. Which ended up being great.
Which is great. I love Dying Light. But like in this same exact circumstance, I think what it was, if I remember correctly, was they just didn't feel like Little Nightmares was as dark as they were kind of hoping. So this is like almost like Little Nightmares, like darker, younger brother or something. You know what I mean? Like, but it's going to be very cool. It's very weird. And it looks to me like it's going to be a very tense game, like a lot of tension in it, which I'm gonna love. But yeah, very dark puzzler, platformer, very, very cool.
I'm excited to hear you talk about that when it comes out and you can actually get your hands on it.
Yes,
it does seem like people are very hyped for this one.
Yes.
You included. So I like that. Okay. February 19th, we've got Gear Club Unlimited 3 for the Switch 2. This is just kind of your, realistic looking racing game. There aren't a ton of those on Switch, so I mean is what it is. On February 20th, we have Ys X Proud Nordics, which is an enhanced version of Ys X Nordics, which is already out. I've never played a game in this series. It's a long-standing RPG series that goes way back, and I'm sure there are people in our audience here that do enjoy that. In the same kind of RPG vein, we've got Tales of Berseria Remastered coming to Switch on February 26th. Tales of Berseria returns with enhanced portability and quality of life enhancements. Join Velvet on her journey for vengeance, along with her cast of eccentric companions as they sail through the archipelago, which comprises the land of Midgand. I don't know where that is. That's all right. But so I see you have this one highlighted.
Oh, yeah.
Are you a fan of the Tales? I know we talk about them every now and then.
I like to vacation there from time to time.
Sure. Okay.
I've never been super hard into them, but I played Symphonia back in the day because my sister was into them. So I like to keep my thumb on them. You know what I mean?
I always think that I am kind of aware of what they're doing over there, and then they bring back one like this that I've never heard of, and I'm like, what is this one? I don't know anything about this one.
You know what's funny about the Tales of games, which I don't know if that's really the way to address them, but
it's the way I'm going to address them.
But it feels right. It feels right to me. Pokemon ZA really reminded me of the play style of those games.
Okay, from what I've seen, that makes some sense. Yeah.
And it's because I don't know. Maybe I'm just missing the mark because I'm a vacationer. I don't live there in the Tales of, in the land of Tales of. And Pokemon ZA, it was like action, 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 and they were like, okay, we need to plan. Let's plan around this table, group discussion, and it's like tense, talk, and then you go do the Tales of games are very much that same vein where it's like I feel like that the story's built up based on the interactions that you have around this inevitable group of people, probably friends. And you're working through this thing and there's so much dialogue and depth between this group of people. I just feel like every Tales of game, you got this hype, very tight group of folks working through a problem, and ZA just reminded me of that. It seems like it's just always how it is.
I do. I need to give these a try. I mean, I think there's a version of Symphonia you can get on the Switch.
I think so. I think they did an HD version.
Yeah, and that's the one I remember coming out when we were younger. So
yeah,
I'll have to give that a try. February 27th, big day for horror fans.
Oh yeah,
and we've been talking about this one plenty. Resident Evil Requiem for the Switch 2. Also alongside it, we're getting Resident Evil 7 Biohazard and Resident Evil Village. I haven't decided yet. I want to buy the package that has all three of these because it's only, an extra, I think $10 maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe 20. I don't know if I should play Biohazard first, then Village, then Requiem, or if I should jump right into Requiem. I think that's what I want to do because I want to play the new hotness.
Yeah. No, I completely understand that, and I can't fault you for that. But because I'm the same way. I jumped right into the new Hollow. You know what I mean? I couldn't wait.
Yeah.
Hollow Knight.
Sure.
Although it seems like, and I guess we don't know, or maybe we do, how it ties in. I'm super curious how they're going to tie in the Ethan Winters.
Yeah, that does seem like there's some hints of that, but I don't know. I know who Leon is. I'm fine. I'll figure it out. I know Leon pretty well. Okay, so moving on to March. First up, March 5th, Pokemon Pokopia. Where are we at on Pokemon Pokopia right now?
I think ever since we realized that, because remember at first we were like, this is Pokemon Minecraft, but then we realized it was just really zoomed in.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm going to see what's up. I'll take a peek at it. I just don't know. I don't know, man. I think I'm hoping we learn a lot more about it, and we can make a better choice.
I hope it is quality for the people that do like games like this.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you, unless it is a 10 out of 10, I'm not interested in a game like this.
Yeah. I feel like, do you remember just the anime frame, my God, the farming, just every direct was just farm.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like we're in like the life sim era of that.
Yeah, definitely. When I was making this list, I realized you were right. There are a lot of those. But okay, so yeah, we'll figure out what Pokopia is all about in a couple months here. Then we've got Nevergrave, The Witch and the Curse for Switch, also on March 5th. This is a Metroidvania roguelite. I think it looks interesting. It does have multiplayer. I don't know that the art style is necessarily for me. But I'm always willing to try out a Metroidvania. So I'll see how this one, is received and then maybe give it a shot. But I don't have a ton on that one.
Yeah.
I believe I asked you about this when it got announced, but Fatal Frame 2 Crimson Butterfly Remake is coming to Switch 2 on March 12th.
Oh, yeah.
The legendary date of March 12th. How, as a photographer yourself and a fan of horror games, I feel like Fatal Frame is for you.
Yeah, I would check it out. I don't know a whole lot about it.
Okay.
But I think it's interesting to check out. It's different. That's what I think is interesting about it, to be honest with you. It's just different.
I believe, like Silent Hill 2, I think this is the one that everybody kind of points to as like the one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, that's cool. March 13th, we have Monster Hunter Stories 3, Twisted Reflection on Switch 2. This is kind of the branch of RPG spin-offs of Monster Hunter. I know there's a big audience for that, so that's kind of cool. Then March 19th, we have our second Dynasty Warriors Game of the Year, Dynasty Warriors 3 Complete Edition Remastered, which is essentially just a remake for Switch 1 and 2. That's pretty cool. Ghostmaster Resurrection. Okay, this one I thought was interesting. So this comes out March 20th. When I first glanced, I ended up on the original Ghostmaster before this version of it. And I almost thought it was like a Sims-like game, just the way the camera angle was and specifically the graphics. But then looking at this, whatever this is, this version of it, it does seem like it might be kind of fun. Kind of you're managing people and trying to keep these things at bay. I think there could be a fun game in there, maybe a fun stream. But it does seem like more your kind of game than mine.
Does it?
Any thoughts there?
I'm looking at it. There's been a lot of really odd games like this. I don't know exactly what the premise is. Like you were just kind of diving into, like, it does appear that there's several different types of monsters that can kind of come at you in the houses here. And This reminds me of this strange indie game I picked up like a year ago, or actually, oh my god, that was like way longer than a year ago.
Okay.
It was called like Roomba First Blood or something like that.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of this?
No, I've heard of a Roomba, but not.
Well, I'm glad because you're going to need to know that. So you're a Roomba, and you are thwarting thieves from breaking into the home.
Okay.
And I got it because it was $1 on sale.
Sure.
And you have to murder them, the thieves, so that they can't leave the house with the stuff.
Okay.
And you set all kinds of traps. You as a vacuum are committing murder. And then after you murder them, you got to clean that blood up, brother.
Is Roomba not like a trademarked name?
I think it's like Roomba.
Can you just do that?
Roombo First. Oh, there it is. Roombo First Blood. Oh, it's on the PS4 too? Wow, you don't say. That's crazy, man. Okay. Yeah, man, you viciously murder people and then you got to vacuum that shit up. It'll be like, they're coming home and you're like trying to vacuum with stuff.
Okay.
But like a similar thing though, where you're like that view over the house, like you're looking at, and there's like different things you can kind of interact with. I feel like there's something here. There could be something here. It could be pretty interesting. So yeah, I'd like to see kind of what we're diving into, but this looks like a fun, different kind of idea, and you love to see it amongst a list of Dynasty Warriors and life sims.
Yeah, it's a good bit of variety.
Yeah.
I don't have a ton of interest in the next two. Let me know if you want me to slow it down. But we've got Arianda and the Elder Codex coming to Switch on March 24th. This is a Metroidvania. Again, art style's not really doing it for me here. Then we're jumping all the way to April 23rd with Kingdom's Return, Time Eating Fruit and the Ancient Monster on Switch 2, which is an action RPG that kind of has like a city building element to it, which I am never a fan of.
No, I
don't want to build a base. I don't want to build a city.
No.
I'm not. No, they always want to incorporate that in like Assassin's Creed and stuff, and I don't need that.
I don't need that at all.
Even in Breath of the Wild with your little town, I'm not crazy about that.
No, I never fucked with any of that. And like the other thing about it is, this makes me feel snooty, but like if your game looks like it could be on a mobile phone, I'm out.
Okay,
I'm not into it.
Fair enough.
I want to do it.
On April 24th, we have Pragmata coming to Switch 2, which we only found out recently. This game's been kind of gestating for a very long time. Capcom's newest IP, Pragmata, an all-new science fiction action adventure with its own unique hacking twist. It is the near future, and protagonist Hugh and his android companion Diana must work together as they make their way through the cold lunar research station. Are you interested in this one?
I am.
It seems like a Jordan vibe, yeah. Yes,
this looks very, very cool. Definitely need some more time to digest what's going on here, but it looks incredible. I love it's another like companionship type deal, which I really enjoy. So there's room for some really good storytelling there. And what like this little girl and is that a robot? Is that a guy in a suit? I don't really know. But it also just looks gorgeous. Very much, you can obviously see the Resident Evil type influence in here too.
Yeah, I mean, Capcom is on a tear, right? You mentioned the Resident Evil games of recent years. Monster Hunter is killing it. The last Devil May Cry was great. Like, all signs kind of point to this being pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm into it.
Then we go to May 19th. R-Type Dimensions 3 on the Switch and Switch 2. R-Type, classic shoot 'em up. I know you're a fan of some of these. I don't know if R-Type is your jam, but
no, not really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's there and it's coming out. May 27th. I never remember that this one's coming to Switch at all, but 007 First Light from IO Interactive is coming to the Switch too. How are we feeling on this one?
Never been a 007 guy, even the originals, but I've always enjoyed their multiplayers outside of 64, strangely. I got sucked into 007 around PS2.
Yeah, I really like Nightfire. Nightfire's great.
Yeah, Nightfire, just for that. And outside of having fun with everybody, never really got into it. But like looking at some of these stills, it's very like Uncharted looking.
Yeah, it's, this is the team that does Hitman, and those games are great, very well received. There's not a ton that I'm seeing from 007, this specific game, that I'm like, I need to play that. besides the villain being Lenny Kravitz. That honestly is the best thing I have seen from this game.
Oh man, that's not.
I can't wait.
Not doing too hot.
I don't know that I'd play it on Switch 2, just because I know that the Hitman World of Assassination port on Switch 2 doesn't run the best.
Yeah,
and I think has an always online requirement, despite not playing it online. So I don't know about that one. May 28th, Wandering Sword for Switch and Switch 2. This is from the Swordman Studio. It's an RPG. It's already out on PC, and it is not from Square, so it is not that HD 2D, but it is very much that style. So I was curious if this one had your attention.
This one I had never seen actually, so I have not noticed this yet. It does look really cool though. I mean, it is that style. They did it. It looks, from what you can tell looking at it, they did a pretty good job. Lighting looks really good. I mean, man, you tell a good story and you do your art style like this. I mean, I think you're going places. So
I mean, people eat it up. So we'll see how this one does.
Yeah.
And then our last game that has a real date is Lego Batman: Legacy of the Dark Knight, the Switch 2.
Batman.
Yeah, from TT Games. Rise as the Dark Knight and experience the essential Batman story in a bold, action-packed adventure with hard-hitting combat, an open-world Gotham City, and the signature Lego charm that fans know and love. I think this one looks really promising.
Okay.
I do. I really liked the Skywalker Saga, which was the last Lego game they did, and the way it kind of built everything into like one big hub world, and you had access to all these characters, and there were tons of abilities. And what I like about this one so far is that it does seem to be pulling from like all things Batman. So, you've got a Joker that's very like Heath Ledger inspired, but then you've got, kind of classic Batman things and 89 Batman things and all sorts of that sort of stuff. But then on top of that, the combat looks like you ripped it right out of an Arkham game.
Okay.
Which is great. So I'm actually very, very excited for this one.
Ooh.
Like looking through this year, like this is maybe one of my most anticipated games.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. and Skywalker Saga was too, the year that came out. So
yeah.
Are you a Lego guy?
No, I like wanna be.
Yeah.
The last Lego game that I played that I can remember came bundled with my Xbox 360.
Yeah, there you go.
And it was Star Wars. Don't remember which one. And I did enjoy it. It was fun to pass the time. It was very relaxing, but I've never given it the time of day that I think it might deserve. And because I don't find it immersive to the story, at least. I can get lost in it a little bit and kill time, and like it's relaxing.
Yeah.
But I'm not immersed in it the same way that I think that I think that's what it is that's what I'm looking for in a game, is to be very immersed in the story, not necessarily the game itself. And I never found myself getting in it that way,
I will say that I do think Skywalker Saga nailed that. It was a very like you were in it. I don't know how many hours I put into that, like collecting everything. It was an undertaking, but it was fun. But yeah, I like the first several that they did, where there was no voice acting. It was all just kind of visual jokes and storytelling, and that was fun. But once they started putting voice acting in it, and then in some cases, like the Lord of the Rings one, just taking like voice clips from the movies and making it fit the scenes, that was weird.
Yeah.
And some of those are still great. Like I think Marvel Superheroes is a great one, the first one. But yeah, some of them are not as great. So I like that we're kind of getting back to something that's willing to just stand on its own. So, like I said, that was the last one with an actual date, but we do have some like seasonal ones. So in the spring, we've been promised Yoshi and the Mysterious Book for the Switch 2. Join Yoshi for a new adventure in Yoshi and the Mysterious Book, launching on Nintendo Switch 2 in spring 2026. One day on the island where Yoshi and his friends live, which we can just call Yoshi's Island. I don't know why we have to make it so many words. A peculiar talking book named Mr. E suddenly falls from the sky. This peculiar book's pages contain information about unusual creatures, so Yoshi decides to jump in and help investigate. What the hell are you doing? Stay out of the book.
Stay out of the book, man. You know better by now. This
like
is
your Yoshi,
first,
This
is not the first little, the path is crossed with books. Okay.
Right. But call a real hero. Call Mario. You don't just go jumping at books.
You know what though? I have this weird feeling. Well, first of all, unless something comes up and it just gets like we learn more and it's just awful, like blatantly awful, which doesn't happen often. I think we'd like to think that it does, but I feel like we typically go into a release and we're like, it's going to be one or the other, and we don't know.
Yeah.
Very seldomly are we like, we know this is tanking. So I just have this feeling, unless that happens where they're like, it just, everything we get on it just sucks. I'm going to end up buying it. And
okay.
I have this weird feeling that maybe we'll be surprised. I don't know. You know, because there's a lot of screenshots of this game. I'm sure you've looked around.
Yeah. It's a cool looking game. I think it's going to be a 7, you know? I think it's going to be it's going to be too easy.
I hope
and I think it's going to be a little barren.
I think it does look barren. If you know, there's not a lot going on here. It's just Yoshi walking along some trail. Yoshi and the mysterious long trail. But I mean, you never know. I feel like the Yoshi games at one point had this reputation. Well, not Yoshi games. Yoshi's story specifically has a reputation of being not just demanding in a hardware sense, but also a demanding game. It was challenging and it was very difficult. And I like to think that maybe this one will be the follow up. You know, the new age.
It's possible. It is. It's just I'm not counting on it.
I'm probably wrong. I just want to be right so bad.
But the next game we have coming in spring of 2026 is Super Mario Brothers Wonder plus Meetup in Bella Bell Park. This is Mario Wonder, which is an excellent game. The Nintendo Switch 2 edition also adds other content and enhancements that they have not gone into detail about yet. I am curious what that is. Part of why I think Yoshi is not going to have some difficulty spike or some hard levels is because I think if they want to do that, they're putting it here. You know, they're putting it in a package for people that have already played Mario Wonder like myself.
Yeah.
And just want more of it and want a difficult set of levels.
See, this is when I'll be picking up Wonder.
Yeah, and that's great. I think you'll have a great time.
Mm-hmm. Which I am bummed that I have to wait so long to do that. At least it feels. When is this?
This one's just spring. No date on it.
So like
but no, it's been really calling to me. Like every time I see it on my Switch, I'm like, I really want to play that right now.
I know.
But I know I need to wait. I need to wait until this comes out, or else I won't play this.
Exactly. That's where I'm at with it too. I'm just gonna have to wait.
The last Nintendo game in this section here is Tomodachi Life: Living the Dream for the Switch 1. This is a life sim. We've seen this one now, it feels like for years, but most recently at this most recent Direct. And I don't think this one's for either of us. It's, you know, another life sim. I know Tomodachi Life does have its audience, but I specifically remember you not really liking the idea of this one.
We gave it a try. We gave this game an earnest try. Do you remember?
Did we play Tomodachi Life?
We
played Miitomo. On the phone.
Fuck! I do this every time. Every time we talk about.
Well, I think that was maybe even the same team as this.
Did it?
Like, I think it's related.
Tell me though, I'm not crazy. When else did Tomodachi come up? This word is not new to me. When did
Tomodachi Life was on the 3DS?
Okay.
And then Miitomo, and then I think now this one.
Okay. That's what it is. Yeah, it was Miitomo. I just remember the voices you got in there like, you know, like what?
I think that's crazy.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna be playing. Well,
yeah, I'm not really interested in this one. And then in spring 2026, we will be getting South of Midnight for the Switch 2. I've talked about watching my girlfriend Kali play through this one early last year and thinking it was very cool. Thinking the stop motion stuff looked incredible, and you know, that'll be cool running on a Switch and a handheld.
Oh, this does look cool.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a fun little action game for sure.
Okay.
Because sometimes when the fights get a little too hard, you know, I've got to step in and take over.
That's what we do. That's what
partners do. It's challenging. Like I had trouble with it. I'm like, oh my god.
I like that. That's fun right there. That's a good experience. We love that.
So the rest of these do not have dates, do not have seasons, windows, quarters, any of that stuff, but they have had a 2026 date attached to them in some way. So that's why we're going to talk about it.
Okay.
Probably the biggest, highest profile Nintendo game we know about for sure is Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave for the Switch 2, coming from Intelligent Systems as always. Strategy RPG. I told you late last year I want this to be my Fire Emblem year.
Yeah,
I want to be ready when this comes out because I want to play this.
It does look pretty cool. Man, playing Fire Emblem is a lot like how I felt watching Game of Thrones for the first time. You know.
Okay.
Like
sure.
just there's so much to unpack there, and there's so much lore, and when you know nothing, it's part of the battle is just being intimidated by the fact that you have nowhere to go but to learn everything.
Yeah.
You know, at least that's how I would be. I don't know a whole lot at all. I'm not sure how much you know. I think you probably know more than I do. But that's gonna be interesting. I'm hoping you can look back on this at a time where you knew way less.
Yeah.
And then when we, watch these directs, it's going to be like Fire Emblem, Phantasm, and you're going to be like, dude, yeah, we're stoked.
Yeah. I mean, so I've dabbled in Fire Emblem a little bit over the years, certainly not a ton. But one of the things that always really caught my attention with it initially is that, it's not like Advance Wars where like your tank blows up, you just build another tank. Like when your character dies in Fire Emblem, like either you start over or you go on without them. They're dead. And I think recent games have kind of made that a little easier and not necessarily the case. But you go into it thinking, yeah, I'm going to make sure everybody survives. And then inevitably, that doesn't happen. And you have to decide, like, I've been in this battle for 45 minutes. That guy's dead. Do I start the battle over? Or do I just finish this out and he's gone? And it's very Game of Thrones where you have to kind of be like, that's the price, That's... He knew the risk. Like
that's the price of battle.
Yeah.
He's gone.
So I like that that's still an option. And I'm looking forward to that one. The other big one is Pokemon Champions on the Switch, also on mobile. This is basically just a way to Pokemon battle with your friends. You can battle Pokemon, including Mega Evolved Pokemon, against other players in Pokemon Champions. Which they're saying will be used in the Pokemon World Championships in 2026, which I believe is fairly soon. So this game must be launching sometime in the next, couple of weeks, maybe.
Wow.
And then, you've got highlighted here Splatoon Raiders for the Switch 2. This is that one that just one day on the Nintendo app, they were like, hey, this game's coming out. We're going to give you no other information. I did find this little tiny blurb on, I don't remember which Nintendo website it was, maybe the Australian one, maybe the British site, but couldn't really find anything anywhere else. So it goes as this. Play as the mechanic and explore the mysterious Spearholite Islands alongside Deep Cut in Splatoon Raiders, a new Splatoon spin-off game launching exclusively for Nintendo Switch 2. Stay tuned for more deets in the future. I think, are both Splatoon fans to a degree. It's not my favorite franchise. I don't think it's yours either. But how does this sound? A kind of story, single player focused Splatoon. I'd
be curious. I like it. I like the idea. I hope they do it well because honestly, I've been wondering where Splatoon's going to be going now. Because what are they going to do? Just keep doing the same exact thing with new maps? Which, by the way, I'm not stupid. I know that's a thing Call of Duty loves to do. You know what I mean? It's a thing people do, and it's a thing that's done successfully, obviously. But I just don't see that being Splatoon's trajectory, though, and being successful. I feel like they have to change it up. So I am curious, what that is going to look like. What are they going to do? Are we going to start, getting different stories of different characters, and then now they can tie it back into the battle royale or a battle royale Splatoon? That'd be pretty cool,
Yeah, I mean, in theory, I'm sure someone at Nintendo is thinking, well, what if the multiplayer part of Splatoon was like a free-to-play game with microtransactions. Like we raking in money. But they still do need to. Splatoon 3 is still an active game.
Yeah.
They updated it for Switch 2. It just had a winter event. You're right. You can't just churn those out. So I think having this kind of stopgap is nice. And I think I misspoke. I probably shouldn't call it a single player game. I don't believe we know that. Okay. And I bet there probably is a cooperative element to this game, if I had to guess. And then next up, the last Nintendo game we know about is Rhythm Heaven Groove for the Switch 1. Rhythm Heaven Groove follows the gameplay of previous Rhythm Heaven entries, where players have to compete a series of rhythm games in time with the music, similar to micro games in the WarioWare series. And it is the same team that does WarioWare that makes this. While visual clues are present, players are encouraged to follow the beat of the music to get a sense of the rhythm. I'm excited for this. I think these games are pretty high quality. Do you think, and kind of the same with Tamagotchi Life, I feel like these both were announced a long time ago for the Switch and have just kind of, we keep kicking them down the line. Do you think it's possible that this does get a Switch 2 edition?
No.
No, you think it's just we're leaving it on the Switch 1? Okay.
I think so. Yep. I would have to say yeah.
Yeah, Nintendo they're totally fine with ending their console libraries with games like this. WarioWare Gold was one of those on the 3DS. I think this could be one of the last Switch 1 games. Okay. So next up we have Scott Pilgrim EX. Do you remember the Scott Pilgrim game on like the Xbox 360 arcade? That was then delisted forever and then came back. This is kind of the same kind of thing, a beat 'em up, but it's new and it actually looks pretty good. The other one was good too. I don't want to diminish that. I believe you are a fan of the Scott Pilgrim film.
I am.
Will you be picking this up?
Depends on how much it is, but yeah, I might. Might be something fun to play around with.
I imagine it won't be too much. $20 maybe.
I think half the fun, honestly, with these games is the story.
Yeah.
Like they're just, and it's not like huge or deep or anything, but it's just fun, funny.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, then we have Planet of Lana 2 for Switch and Switch 2. I enjoyed Planet of Lana. I believe I played it through Game Pass. It is very much one of these in the vein of your Limbos and Inside, and you're traveling through, you're solving puzzles, you have a little companion that you occasionally control. I'm excited to do more of this. It's not particularly long, but it's beautiful and pretty well made. Out of Words for the Switch 2, I believe we only just learned about this one. This is a co-op game. And there's another one that I was going to save, it's just lower on the list, called Orbitals, that I think I kind of lumped in. I think they were both announced at the Game Awards. It's kind of those, split fiction, It Takes Two kind of, play it with your partner, play it with your friend sort of thing. Also on Switch 2, we have Star Sand, which is a life sim. And it is, the vibe I got was if you took like a Harvest Moon and you just applied like an anime filter to it. That is the vibe of this game. And that's going to work for a lot of people, I think.
Where are we? The desert? What's going on here?
I don't know.
And Star Sand, like stars?
Star Sand, yeah.
Star Sand or Stars and
Star Sand. Yeah, Star Sand.
Star Sand. All right. I mean, there's a lot of sand, so
there. Yeah. Okay. Then we have Glaciered on the Switch 2. Sword of the Seas at the end of time, 65 million years in the future, the world is frozen over and the oceans have been sealed under a thick layer of ice. Become a 2A, a species that evolved from birds, and protect the Everwinter in this futuristic underwater action game. You're not feeling this one?
No.
It's not the prettiest game I've ever seen.
No, but dude, what is this, like Trevor Henderson under just deep in the ocean monster sim? Like, what are we doing now?
Yeah. So do you remember a few years ago there was a game called Maneater where you were a shark, and it was narrated by Chris Parnell of SNL and Rick and Morty and Archer fame, and that was fun. It was fun being a shark. I enjoyed that. I kind of like that vibe.
All right.
But okay, then we've got Elden Ring Tarnished Edition for the Switch 2. Elden Ring, obviously a legendary experience, very highly regarded. The last we heard about this when it was at whatever show it was at, not running so well.
No.
And then they delayed it indefinitely. So I think the presumption is that it will come out this year. But yeah, what's going on with Elden Ring? They got to get it right? It's such a big property. Like, you can't just shit it out and let it go.
They're probably having a lot of trouble. They're figuring that out. Yeah, that's going to be tough.
Because this could be a big deal in the same way that Skyrim was for the first Switch.
Mm-hmm.
This could be that big. And unfortunately, I think Cyberpunk already kind of came in and took that spot from them. But yeah, it could be a big deal. Another life sim for you, Witchbrook on the Switch 1 and 2. This is from Chucklefish, who I believe is the Stardew Valley developer.
Okay.
Discover magic and mystery in Witchbrook, a spellbinding witch life sim for up to 4 players. Start your life as the newest resident witch in the bustling seaside city of Mossport. Make friends, find love, and discover a world filled with wonder and charm on the road to graduation and beyond. So there you go. I'm excited for this one. Professor Layton and the New World of Steam on the Switch and Switch 2 by Level 5. These are just adventure titles with a lot of fun puzzles in them. Sort of all sorts of puzzles, logic, visual. They're great. I love them. I haven't played one of these Layton games in a while, but that first one on the DS was like one of my favorite DS games.
Okay.
And then, you have this one highlighted. I managed to pick this one up in my fantasy draft, so I'm happy about that. For the Switch 2, we have the Duskbloods, also from Software. The Moon Eaters will flow for one and one alone in the Duskbloods, a brand new multiplayer title from the creators of Dark Souls and Elden Ring. From Software, available exclusively for Nintendo Switch 2. This one, when we initially saw it, we weren't sure if this was going to be a Castlevania revival or something, and it ended up being a new, a new thing from Software. So, are you excited for this one?
I'm excited to try it. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm actually. That's cool that you got that in your draft because it's from Software, and by the looks of it, it looks like it's going to be another pretty big world building type situation. Yeah. But yeah, no, this looks really, really cool to me. Very, I don't even really know it's not like Resident Evil, obviously, but something kind of dark, maybe vampire-y, like different.
Yeah, it's got a very cool look to it. And they make good video games over there. You mentioned Dark Souls and Elden Ring, but also Bloodborne and Sekiro. Like they do some good stuff.
I'm tired of seeing, personally, like I'm tired of seeing like Skyrim style, like Elden Ring and Skyrim and all Elder Scrolls, all that stuff. Like it's all so similar to me.
Okay.
And it's fun to see something else. That's not that high fantasy kind of. Yeah, like a different type. You're leading a different life in this other in a very similar gameplay type. I like it. I think it's cool.
Yeah, I look forward to that one. Hopefully, I'm hoping that one makes it this year. Fantasy Critic aside, I hope that it comes out because it has potential. Next one, Danganronpa 2x2 for the Switch and Switch 2. The last time this one came up, we didn't really know much about it. It's a visual novel. This is a new version of, I guess, the second one. So that is there if you like that. But I don't know anything about this, I'll be honest.
No. I was looking forward to you saying it, and you nailed it. So good job.
Thank you. Star Seeker Astroneer Expeditions for the Switch 2. I kind of remember Astroneer coming out. I don't really remember it. I think I'm thinking of maybe a different thing because I thought there was like a bear involved. Okay. But it is like a little multiplayer exploration kind of thing that you play with your friends.
Okay.
Which I think on paper sounds cool. I don't know if it's necessarily for me, but it's interesting at least.
Huh.
You wanna explore space?
I don't know, man. I mean, it looks a little bland. It kind of reminds me of Repo. The way it looks.
Sure. Okay, next up is Hella for the Switch 2 from Wind Up.
Oh, that's nice.
We liked this one when we saw this one. This is one where you're that little mouse. and you're on a little adventure. See the world through the eyes of a brave mouse in this enchanting 3D adventure. I didn't realize I would just say that basically word for word. Explore breathtaking Scandinavian-inspired landscapes, solve puzzles, and be a force for good in a land where heartwarming storytelling and the beauty of nature intertwine. Yep. I could be down for this.
I'm super down for this. I will definitely play this one. This gives me heavy Unraveled feelings.
Definitely. Yeah. I think you mentioned that before when we saw it.
It definitely, because I don't remember what the trailer is, but I'm imagining it's very Nordic, relaxing music. Okay. Yeah. There's some flute
it was a fun
vibe.
Here's one of your favorites, The Adventures of Elliot, the Millennium Tales for Switch 2 from Square Enix. A brand new action RPG from the creators of Octopath Traveler and Bravely Default. The Adventures of Elliot, the Millennium Tales combine stunning HD 2D visuals and exciting action-adventure gameplay for the first time. So I guess I thought there was something else, but this will be the first HD 2D game that Square Enix has made that is not turn-based.
Yes, I know.
So that's kind of cool.
I know, and I'm so excited, dude, because I am not a huge fan of turn-based. I can do it and I can enjoy it. It's just when I played this demo, oh my gosh, man, it was so fun. I cannot wait for this game. This is gonna be a lot.
This was another game I picked up, and I'm excited about that.
Yeah. Oh, you picked it up on your list?
I did. It was my last pick. I was like, I can get some save points. I can get a World of Warcraft expansion or something like that. But I was like, I'm going to take the risk because I think this has potential.
I think it does.
Yeah, I think it could be a hit. Next up, though, is content warning for the Switch and Switch 2. We've talked about this. Film your friends doing scary things to become SpookTube famous. Strongly advised to not go alone. I think this would make for a great stream or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, this game is out there already. Then we got Indiana Jones and the Great Circle on Switch 2. I loved this game when it came out on Xbox, on Game Pass. And I highly recommend it. It is so authentically Indiana Jones, and it's fun. It's very well made. I don't think you have to be a fan of Indiana Jones to enjoy it, but that definitely helps. Definitely recommend that one. Then we have Enter the Gungeon 2 on Switch 2. Bullet hell, kind of, I didn't play the first Enter the Gungeon. I know it is very popular. But, that should be here at some point. They have a new 3D art style in this one. This one breaks my heart to still see it here, but Mina the Hollower for Switch and Switch 2. We thought we would be getting that around Halloween this past year, and then it was delayed indefinitely. And by the reports, kind of sounds like it's kind of all or nothing for Yacht Club right now with this one. They kind of have to get this one right, and I hope they do. I really like Shovel Knight, and I liked the demo of this quite a bit.
Yeah, I played the demo too after you, because you told me about it.
Yeah, I thought it was a lot of fun.
Huh, I wonder why the long delay.
I don't know. And indefinite. There's no date currently.
Weird. That's super
we don't know.
Weird.
Because we were very close to it too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. We talked about Orbitals a little bit earlier. The co-op, kind of puzzle adventure game you can play with somebody else. Do you have interest in Orbitals?
Yeah, I think so. Honestly, most co-op games like this, I have a little bit of interest in. So okay. I'm enticed if it looks cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that's another one that I feel like we learned about fairly recently. Vampire Crawlers, the turbo wildcard from Vampire Survivors, is coming to Switch supposedly sometime this year. I really like Vampire Survivors. Have you played this?
I have not.
So it's just this like NES looking thing where you start off and there's all these vampires and monsters and things, and you have like a weapon, and it's an auto fire game. So you just like move around and you'll auto fire in front of you. And as you go, you'll pick up different power-ups that might change the way your weapon works or how far it goes or how powerful it is. And you are just trying to survive, as this horde is always trying to get you. And it's fun. It's very, very addicting. This is like a deck builder, kind of in that same vein. So that could be cool. Then we have Avatar Legends, the fighting game. Avatar, so the Nickelodeon Avatar, seems like it might be up your alley, but I don't know that you're a fan of it.
I never watched the show.
Okay.
But I do remember being interested in it. So I probably not for the game, but
okay.
but I don't hate it, you know.
Yeah, I think it's a cool idea for that IP. I mean, I think it works. You got plenty of characters with cool abilities.
Yeah.
Then we have Mouse PI for Hire. Do you remember this one with kind of that almost like old like Steamboat Willie kind of animation and
like LA Noir, like black and white.
Yeah. So you're a PI and you're solving mysteries and yeah, it looks pretty cool. It looks like it has a lot of personality.
Yeah.
That is supposed to be coming to Switch and Switch 2 sometime this year. Then we have Bubsy 4D for Switch and Switch 2. Bubsy's back for some reason.
Bubsy's back.
Yeah, and he's platforming. So this one actually does look good. You know, I know Bubsy kind of has a reputation for being bad. But this one looks great. What's next? Starship Troopers Ultimate Bug War for the Switch 2.
Wow.
So I'm not really familiar with Starship Troopers. I know Helldivers is pretty heavily inspired by it. This game just kind of seems like it's trying to capitalize on that, how popular Helldivers is right now. Hopefully it can kind of carve its own niche with its own fans. But are you a Starship Troopers guy at all?
No, I never got into it.
All right, we'll probably skip that one then. Human Fall Flat 2. This seems like a Jordan game.
Oh yeah,
I love the first Human Fall Flat. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I've never played it.
No.
Never.
Oh, no. This might be. I mean, we could play the first one too, but this might be the next game we play together. Actually, then.
Okay, that'd be cool.
Super funny. Let's see. So I'm looking at your description that you got here. So I'll explain this a little bit more.
Okay. Yeah.
So basically, you are puzzling. It's a 3D puzzler, and you're kind of moving your way through the world. But you're like these gumpy shaped characters, and you control whether if your right or left hand are gripping anything.
Okay.
So like you're constantly trying to like work together to move things around or put things in the right place or turn things, throw things. And it's just hilarious because of how you're just flopping around. See what I mean?
Sure.
So like sometimes you got to throw yourself and like grab the edge of something. Okay. And then maybe I need to climb up you know?
Okay.
It's a super fun platformer that I feel like was kind of in the early era of that kind of niche. Like they found a little spot there.
Yeah. It seems like it's been around for quite a while.
Yeah. So, I mean, very cool to finally have a second entry to it. I'm hoping they don't ultimate chicken horse themselves with the second one, but we'll see. Hopefully it's good.
Yeah. High hopes for that one. Okay, then we have Warframe is getting a native Switch 2 version. It's already on Switch and everywhere else. This is free to play online shooter. I played it when it first came out, gave me strong Destiny vibes at the time. And I haven't really gone back since, but it does seem like people really like it. Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition. This recently came out on other platforms, but it's coming to Switch 2 sometime this year. For 10 years, Fallout 4 has stood as one of the most celebrated open-world RPGs of all time. Now, the Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition brings the complete post-nuclear epic together in one definitive package. Winner of over 200 Best of awards, including the DICE and BAFTA Game of the Year, this edition includes the acclaimed base game, the 6 official expansions, and more than 150 Creation Club items. I remember picking up Fallout 4 with you over 10 years ago now.
Yeah.
Do you have some love for Fallout 4 still? Obviously, Fallout Season 2 is currently running on Amazon.
Are you watching that, by the way?
I haven't started Season 2, no.
No, we haven't either. We're actually rewatching the first season.
Okay.
Intentionally to give us some time to rack up some episodes here.
Sure, yeah.
So that's been a lot of fun. But no, I got some love for Fallout. I was actually, Amanda and I were just talking last night, because like I said, we're rewatching that first season. I was like, man, I can't wait for the next Fallout game, which we're probably not going to see until 2030.
Yeah, not a new one. No.
Realistically, Yeah. But I can't wait. And in this vein, though, am I going to pick it up for the Switch too? That again, I'm not going to pay full price for it, dude. I feel like I've bought Fallout 4 a couple of times at this point.
Sure. But it's that portability.
It is the portability.
It's nice for a game like this, right?
It's
a long game.
It really is.
Yeah.
So possibly, but we'll see. I don't know. But it depends how hungry I am and how the second season leaves me,
Sure. And then the last two here are things we learned about very recently. First up, we have Hollow Knight Nintendo Switch 2 Edition from Team Cherry. Forge your own path in Hollow Knight, an epic action adventure through a vast ruined kingdom of insects and heroes. Explore twisting caverns, battle tainted creatures, and befriend bizarre bugs, all in a classic hand-drawn 2D style. Now enhanced for Switch 2 with high frame rate modes, higher resolutions, and many additional graphical effects. So you mentioned this earlier in the show that you jumped right to Hollow Knight Silksong. Does the original Hollow Knight getting a Switch 2 edition kind of entice you to maybe go back?
It does. I was just thinking that to myself. I will probably go back and play this one through.
Cool.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, I like that they're taking the time to do that. That's great.
Yeah.
And then in that same announcement, they announced Hollow Knight Silksong Sea of Sorrows, the first big expansion. New areas, bosses, tools, and more. Hornet's adventure continues, an nautically themed expansion coming free for all players in 2026. We hope that happens. Obviously, this is very similar to how we originally learned about Silksong. It was going to be a free expansion for Hollow Knight, and years later we got it as its own game, and it's great and it's huge, and yeah, that's awesome. So I'm excited for that if I ever get through the base Silksong game. Okay, so we've now gone through every game we could feasibly know about coming to Switch 1 or 2 this year. How, with that forecast in front of you, like, how does this year look for Switch specifically?
Not what I want it to be. Because here's my problem. A lot of this, I'm not going to play on the Switch.
Sure. Okay.
Well, actually, a lot isn't the word I should use. The big ones I won't be playing on Switch. Resident Evil, I'm not picking that up on the Switch too.
Fair.
The only thing, like in your position, I'd be enticed to, because that package, like you said, is sweet. If you're not, if you haven't played Biohazard or Village, then what a good deal to get the new one and 2 old ones. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that package really is smart. That's very cool. Reanimal, like I was saying, probably I'll pick it up on the Switch too. I don't see why I wouldn't. But I can't say I'm married to that idea. If we get closer to that launch date and I learn for some reason that it would behoove me to play that somewhere else, I'm easily swayed. You know what I mean?
Sure. Well, I mean, you want the best experience for that one. I get that.
Yeah, because that's another one that I've been waiting for at least 6 months since we've heard about it. So Reanimal, Resident Evil, Adventures of Elliot, whatever that one is. Those are probably the big 3 for me.
Okay.
And the Elliot, Adventures of I should probably learn the name of this game and like retain that and commit that one to memory. That one I'll probably pick up on the Switch, because I don't see any reason why I wouldn't, unless again it just comes out where it's like super graphically intensive and I could have a much more crisp experience elsewhere. Sure.
Yeah.
But because this is even like a question, I don't feel like it's where I want to be with what we have forecasted here. Obviously we have small things to look forward to, like the Super Mario Bros. Wonder Switch 2 remake upgrade. Yeah. And then Yoshi and the Mysterious remake Yoshi and the Mysterious
whatever Yoshi's doing.
But it's like, outside of Yoshi, I'm looking forward to add-ons or DLC kind of things. Like, that's not what I want. I want to know what the next big thing is going to be. We have the Mario movie coming out. I'm hungry for something a little bit bigger. And I think we should have something, some kind of carrot on the stick here,
I do think I agree with you. I mean, I talked about how after seeing the Mario Tennis thing today, I'm excited for that. But that is not the big game of 2026 for me, right? Yeah. And then I look at, especially in this first part of the year that we have dates for, like Memories in Orbit looks good. Escape from Ever After looks good. I think there's stuff there, but particularly with the first party, I mean, yeah, like I mentioned, the biggest thing is probably Fire Emblem. And, you know, I'm interested in it, but like we've talked about, we're not Fire Emblem people. So like, you know, as good as it looks, it can't hold that year for me. Especially when you look at the rest of the industry and you think about things like Marvel's Wolverine and Grand Theft Auto 6 and stuff like that. Like, you know, it's nice that we are getting a big AAA title in Resident Evil 9, especially so early in the year.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I don't think things are dire, but I do think there's some work to do in this, you know, first Nintendo Direct we get in the year, and then maybe even in the summer. Like I feel like we need some heavy hitting announcements.
Yeah, and I mean, like that's the thing is too is I'm not even saying that I need a big AAA title to hit the shelves in a couple months. I just need to know that it's coming.
Yeah, something to look forward to. Absolutely.
And I'll go, okay, cool. And then, you know, I'll find enjoyment in some of these other releases. At least we'll know what's around the corner. Then they'll get that push they're looking for. I know I said this either last week or the week before, but I feel like we're in that weird pre-Switch dry spell right now. That's what it feels like to me. This era where we're just kind of getting by with these life sims, you know? Like,
yeah, you're right. We need something, you know, for me, for years, it's been Metroid Prime 4. That's been the thing to look forward to and hope it's at the Direct. And now that's out. And so what is the next one? Is it going to be the next Zelda? Is it going to be the next Smash? Like, Nintendo needs to give me something to hope I see every time they post anything.
Yeah.
So we'll get there, though. But this has been a fun episode. We went through a lot of games. So hopefully, if you're out there watching and maybe you learned something new you didn't know about that caught your eye. If so, let us know. We want to know what you're looking forward to this year. You can help us by subscribing to the podcast wherever you are on YouTube or podcast services elsewhere. You can leave a comment, follow us on social media at Pod with Power. Until next time, I'm Zachary Davis, and that's Jordan Carlson. Bye-bye.
Bye.